Hello, Ilaria.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me today to chat about your experience here in Venice International University. You've had the chance to participate in several academic programs here, so we are really interested to hear more about your experience and learn about you. Perhaps you could tell me about your studies in the University of Padova and your background.
Yes, sure. I'm currently enrolled in a master's degree in social psychology at the University of Padova, and I'm also doing a bachelor degree in philosophy at the University of Paris-Nanterre. And before doing that, I did a bachelor degree in developmental psychology at the University of Padova.
The first program you took at VIU was a summer session of the globalization program. Could you tell me about that experience?
Yes, sure. So it was just after the first year of my bachelor degree in psychology at the University of Padova, and I wanted to do an international experience before starting my Erasmus program in the UK. So I decided to join the globalization program, the summer session of the globalization program, and I did a course called Globalization and Health, where I met Professor Roberto De Vogli, who is an associate professor at the University of Padova. He's teaching psychology of power, and we ended up finding each other with similar research interests. So then he became the supervisor of my bachelor thesis in psychology, and we did a work together about critical thinking and ways to improve critical thinking in the student population. So that was really enriching. And then I really enjoyed the experience so much at VIU that I applied also the following year and the year after, still for the globalization program. First with an experience in literature. That was a field I never studied before, well, obviously in high school, but not at the university level. And the name of the program was Romantic Love in Europe and Japan. And it was led by a professor from Bachelor University in Japan, an English professor. So I had the chance to see the connections between what I was studying in psychology and other fields in humanities, such as literature. And then the last summer session I did was about social psychology. And there I got the inspiration to do my master's degree in social psychology, because I enjoyed this specialization in psychology so much that it kind of oriented then my future choice for my master's degree.
So last year, Ilaria, in 2025, you participated in a graduate seminar on critical phenomenology. This was led by professors from the University of Padova, Exeter and Boston College in the USA. How did you find the experience in one of our intensive programs, the graduate seminar?
Yeah, compared to the summer sessions of the globalization program, you're surrounded by students who are more advanced in their studies. Normally they're doing a PhD or a postdoc research experience, or they are professional people working in their field of specialization. So at the beginning, I felt a bit as an outsider, because I wasn't, and I'm not still yet a PhD student. I am a master's student. But then I realized that I didn't have to have the same background to still be able to engage in conversations, even about philosophy, which still isn't my field of expertise, but that is a discipline that fascinates me immensely, and that is actually very linked to what I'm studying in psychology. So it was challenging, because it was the first time where I found to be surrounded by people who had a lot more academic background than me. But then after a few days, this feeling of uncomfortableness was replaced by a sense of empowerment, feeling capable of also having conversations, engaging in conversations and contributing to the conversations with people who were PhD students. Why not? And this also made me realize, oh, you know what, that could also be an option for me. If until then I thought, maybe I would not be capable of doing it. It helped me deepen my understanding of this discipline. And now my current master's thesis is about the grief of widows. And sometimes I use some concepts that come from phenomenology that I discovered thanks to this summer school.
So this year, in 2026, you found another summer school that was relevant for your master's thesis, and you participated in the Ethics and Healthcare Summer School, which this year focused on end of life from a global and multicultural perspective.
Yeah.
How did that support your thesis research?
Yeah, that's right. So, first of all, it gave me a lot of inputs to include in my master's thesis. Inputs that are coming not just from psychology, which is my field of specialization, but also from theology, religious studies, philosophy, economics, epidemiology. So I really had a chance to make this work more interdisciplinary, extend beyond the borders of the psychological discipline. And also I had the opportunity to present my own research, receive some feedback on that, both on what was good and on what I could improve.
Ilaria, this week you're back at VIU for the summer school on global mental health. The subtitle for this edition is Confronting 21st Century Authoritarianism and Racial Supremacy. Tell us about this week.
Yeah, this week was very different from the previous graduate seminar that we did, because we are really experimenting some alternative ways of teaching, learning, and also doing research in the academic field. And also the thing that I love the most about this experience is that I have finally found a group of researchers that is doing qualitative research academically with a lot of methodological rigor and critical regard on epistemology and ontology. So I feel like I finally found a niche of people I can communicate with to get advice from if I need to get support in the future. And next year I'm hoping to do a PhD. And here I have met during the last graduate seminar a professor from the University of Massachusetts who would be happy to supervise me during my PhD. This was another opportunity that was made possible by VIU itself, because I found a professor that really shares my same research interests, both in terms of topics, which is related to gender liberation, oppression, colonization, and also research methodologies, so qualitative methods, narrative studies, and creative ways of doing action research. So that was really, really one of the gifts that VIU has given me, and probably the biggest one.
Ilaria, what common characteristics did you find across the different academic programs that you've attended at VIU?
Yeah, there is something special about the group dynamic that you experience in these activities, because nobody knows each other. We're all strangers to one another. At the same time, we're all here committed to engage with the program, engage with the material, engage in the discussion with one another, learn from each other. So I can feel that people here are a lot open to getting in dialogue and in contact with one another, and I really like this openness. We're not here to get good grades or to graduate. We're really just here to enjoy the experience itself of doing this program, learning from each other, exchanging ideas, getting inspirations from one another, and this creates a very unique atmosphere between the students. There's not the competition that sometimes we can experience at university, but there is a strong sense of collaboration and cooperation towards the goal of the group, which is learning together and collectively.
So how would you describe VIU to students thinking of coming here to study?
Well, first of all, the island where VIU is settled is a paradise. In any season of the year, it is a true paradise. We are surrounded by water and by nature, and it really is a paradise in Venice. I prefer San Servolo to the main island, because here we are isolated and we can enjoy silence and community at the same time. So this would be the first thing I would say about VIU, because the space also, in order to think freely, we need to find both some spaces of communication and dialogue, connection, and also spaces of reflection and silence. And here we can have both. And this is very precious. It can really be a nest, a home, to come back once a year to experience a different form of learning. This is what it has been for me so far. And yesterday I realized it's actually the university where I have spent the majority of my years, because while I was studying in Padova, I traveled abroad, so I was not really studying in Padova. So I only spent 2 years in Padova, whereas here I keep coming back. It has been 5 years that I have been continuing coming back to San Servolo. So it is really a nest, because it's open, you can fly and explore the world, but you can always come back and enjoy this safety, the safety of this place of communication and dialogue between cultures and between disciplines, without any fear of the consequences also of questioning yourself, of questioning both the fellow students and the professors, because even the hierarchy that usually exists in academia here are a bit levered. So because you have coffee breaks with your professors, you have lunch together, so it is an opportunity to really find this safety in the dialogue. This is very precious and unique.
Thank you. And what did you find unique about the learning experience here at VIU? You know, between the professors from different places teaching in the program together and the students who you're in your classes, how did you find that community experience?
Yeah, I love that this is a place where borders can be crossed very easily. Both borders between disciplines and between cultures and nations. And it is very, very unique an experience, because usually when we study at university, we belong to a specific faculty and a specific specialization from that faculty. So we don't really have a chance to communicate and enter in a dialogue with experts belonging to other disciplines or coming from other parts of the world. Whereas here it is possible, and it's what we do every day, and it is so enriching both on the academic and on the personal level. So yeah, this is what I find unique about VIU, and this is also why I keep coming back, because I'm always amazed by how many perspectives there are in the world, and how much wisdom there is that I still have to discover. And the more I learn, the more I realize that the boundaries of my discipline are limited, and that I need to overcome them thanks to the dialogue with people that have a different background from my own. And every time this process is accompanied with a lot of a sense of enrichment, and also a sense of unsettlement, because you realize how much limited you are, because when you cross your borders, you realize that they were just borders. You thought it was the entire world, but then it was just a limited representation. But thanks to the community you get, there is this reciprocal exchange. There is a lot that you can give and a lot that you can receive at the same time. And there is a lot of learning and transformation going on in doing this process.
So both inside the classroom and in your interactions with your fellow students in your free time as well.
Absolutely,
yes.
Absolutely. That's what I like also of staying on campus and sleeping here with the other students, and having the coffee break together, having a chance to chat both with the fellow students and with the professors. You really create connections that go beyond university, go beyond your respective work or education experience. You create a human connection that is a lot deeper and transformational. And I would have never expected to become friends with people coming from South Africa, Japan, or the USA, but now I do have friends living in other continents, and they can come to visit me, I can come to visit them at any time. So that's a very precious feeling that may also makes you develop this sense of global citizenship. I'm not feeling just an Italian citizen now, but I really care of the world, because in the world there are my friends who are living, people I've met here on this island, and that are continuing their life journey elsewhere in the world.
It's wonderful to hear that you've created such lasting connections through your experiences at VIU.
Yes.
What is the essence of Venice International University for you?
I would say is the strong openness to diversity. Diversity in discipline, diversity in cultures, languages, methodologies, experiences, and this is just very enriching, both on the academic and personal level. There's a lot of learning and transformation that coming with engaging with this difference, because you can question yourself and find new ways of being in the world.
What does VIU mean for you?
I would say VIU was one of the universities that informed my background strongly, because it is the school where I learned to think complexity, where I learned to think across disciplines, across cultures, across languages. It is also the school where I had the opportunity to practice several languages, starting with English, but then also with French and German, because I met students speaking those languages. I would say that VIU gives you really the opportunity to enrich your academic background, going beyond your own discipline of expertise, but also acquiring knowledge that you would have never acquired if you stayed within the borders of your own discipline and of your own country. And this is an opportunity to distinguish your curriculum, make it more interesting, especially if you want to apply for a career in academia, because it is important that you're able to think across borders and across disciplines.
Ilaria, what advice would you give to students who are going to join VIU in the future?
Yeah, my advice is to have the courage to stay with the discomfort, because it can be unsettling to dive yourself in an international context, especially if you haven't done it before, and to dive yourself also in an interdisciplinary context where you don't feel the expert anymore, because there are people coming from other disciplines and you're trying sort of communicating with one another, finding a common language to understand each other. It is challenging, but my advice is to not be afraid of this discomfort and have the courage to keep going, make the effort of trying to listen, understand, and not be afraid of asking stupid questions, whether it is to fellow students or to the professor. You're not being judged here. No. Well, sometimes you do receive a grade, but for example, not in the graduate activity, you don't even receive a grade. So nobody is here to judge you. It is a strong opportunity to just enjoy the very process of learning together, and without the hierarchy that sometimes dominates academia. Yes, there are some standard forms of knowledge, both of content of knowledge and of ways of expressing knowledge, but here it is possible to challenge them. There is this horizontal knowledge that is co-constructed with the students, co-constructed between the students and the teachers, and it is very unique. So just not be afraid. Do not have inferiority complex if you're not feeling an expert in a certain discipline. Everybody has the right to express their own views on whichever discipline and even make mistakes. That's totally fine. That's how we learn. So abandon the mindset, the performative mindset of I have to be the best one, I have to show the others how good I am at my work. Have this humility, because it is with the humility that you open yourself to listening to others, receive what they have to give you, and also, just share whatever is precious, whatever matters to you, whatever question interests and makes you curious to the others, and find the answers together.
Thank you so much, Ilaria.